If you have the opposite skin type as me, then sit back, relax, because this next tutorial is going to be just for you. It's going to be all about how to do a full glam makeup look specifically for dry skin. Now, of course, we're not just going to start slapping makeup on our face that's labeled glowy and this or that. We're going to tackle the root cause of the problem. We're going to tackle your skin prep. Your skin prep is going to be the most important part of any dry skin makeup routine, or just dry skin in general. So we are going to be creating a makeup look that's going to sit beautifully on top of these 3 heavy hitters. Now, with all makeup tutorials, you're going to start with your thinnest product first. That's going to be the Anua 70 Plus Rice Ceramide Glowy Milky Toner. This is going to be a moisturizing milky toner. This is a more lightweight milky toner, so it's going to absorb quickly. It's going to be our round 1 of deeply hydrating our parched, dry, probably itchy at this point because we're going into winter skin. So Anua first. Open up this bad boy, and let me just warn you ahead of time as we're going through this makeup look. I have the opposite skin type from this makeup look. So I have very, very oily skin. So products, the end result, it might look a little bit more glowy than it would on someone who has dry skin. So just try to keep that in mind. I thought it was still worth showing this makeup look on my skin, even though I don't have the skin type that this makeup look is all about. It's still worth it to show you all, but just keep in mind, it is probably going to be a lot glowier on me, especially on camera, than it might be on you. So just kind of maybe use your better judgment. So with the Anua Milky Toner, what I want you to do is bring this all over your eyelids, okay? Bring this underneath your eyes. This is incredibly important. Do not just go like this. Boom, 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 boom. Like you see people online doing. This isn't going to do anything. It's going to do a little something, but you're ignoring all of like the most important crevices of your face, around your nose, around your lips, near your ears. Now, of course, you want to bring all these next steps down your neck. However, I'm wearing a turtleneck, so we're going to act like we did it. All right, once the Anua is applied, it's going to absorb very quickly. Then you're going to go into round 2. Round 2 is going to be the next thickest product, which is going to be the Prequel Half and Half Peptides Plus Ceramides Fluid Moisturizer. This is exactly what it says. It's a fluid moisturizer. It's very, very nourishing on your skin, and it's a little bit thicker. So let me show you the texture of this guy. A lot thicker. You're going to run this all over the same places, and you're going to get all up underneath your eyes. You're going to get your eyelid. You're going to get around your nose. You're going to bring it down your neck. And you're going to apply this bad boy everywhere, making sure that it is evenly distributed all throughout your face, okay? So don't skip an area. If you have certain areas that are drier than others, you could go over and repeat just one more thin layer, or you could concentrate most of the product in that area and then just spread evenly throughout the rest of the areas that are not as dry and don't need as much product. Now, once that product's applied, your skin is going to feel so deeply hydrated, so deeply nourished, just with those 2 steps. Now, I want you to give this step a couple extra seconds than the Anua took to absorb, because it is thicker, so it's going to take a little bit more time to dry down and to absorb into your skin. So in that meantime, so you don't have idle time, don't neglect lip prep. Okay, so a great lip prep if you have dry lips, dehydrated lips, chapped lips, anything like that. I've been really loving the Made Revive Day and Night Lip Balm. This is super nourishing, pretty thick, does a great job, gets the job done, basically. So a thick, rich lip balm you'll want to slap on at this point. So by the time you're done with your actual makeup application, you'll wipe off the excess and your lips will be super nourished, super moisturized, and ready for your lipstick. All right, now as you can see, I am very glowy, but I'm not going to stop here because this is again for my dry skin people out there. So my skin is just going to be extremely moisturized today, and I'm here for it. It's going to be great. It's going to feel amazing. I'm just going to be very, very glowy. But for you out there that have dry skin, you are going to love the way this combination of 3 products feels underneath your makeup. All right, now to lock those milky toners in, you're going to add the Review Beauty Signature Skin Dream Barrier Cream. This is a very emollient, very, very nourishing I'm almost out. Okay. Moisturizer. I love this product. I use this at night for my skin type, but dry skin types are going to love this during the day. We're going to use about 2 pumps, work it between my fingers so it's melted, and it's going to just melt right into my skin. And again, you're going to do the same exact steps. You're going to bring this all underneath your eye onto your eyelid. You're going to work this on the forehead. Now spread this evenly with the warmth of your fingertips. And don't forget, you're going to bring this down your neck. If you have any extra, put it on the tops of your hands. It feels so nice on the top of your hands. It's incredible. Now we're going to let this absorb and dry down. In the meantime, I want you to focus on a little bit of eye prep, okay? Now, just because you have dry skin does not mean that you're limited and you can't use products that have more of a semi-matte to satin long wear finish. The product that I'm talking about that I want you to utilize, and I want you to not be afraid of this as a dry skin person out there, okay? I promise you, you can use something like this. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Long Wear Cream Eyeshadow. The shade Sandstone is a really great everyday neutral that you could throw on, throw a shadow on top, call it good, and it's going to be a really beautiful way to do your eye makeup and a really great way to prep your eyes, to cover up any kind of discoloration, any kind of visible veins, anything like that. Now, if a product like this spooks you, you of course can go in just with a concealer, like the concealer that you plan on using under your eyes. In this case, I plan on using the MAC Studio Radiance Concealer. But I really want you to not be afraid of using this type of product, because if you prep your eyelids accordingly, like I just taught you how, there's no reason why you can't use something like this, even if you have dry eyelids. So hear me out. I'm going to teach you how to use this. And I promise you, you do not need to be afraid of this product. But what you're going to do is take a little bit, put it on the base of your eyelid, and you're going to blend out your eyes one eye at a time. Take a fluffy brush. This is my N20S from my new Vol.2 set with BK Beauty. You're going to take this, and using a fluffy brush is going to ensure that it's a soft, thin wash of product, and you're not overly applying too much of this more slightly dry, long-wearing product on your eyelid. A thin veil of this will feel virtually weightless, like nothing is on your eyelids, and it will definitely, I promise you, not feel dry, cakey, or flaky on your eyelids. So less is more, but the bottom line is if you have your eyes properly hydrated, moisturized, and prepped with good skincare, then there's just no way you can tell me that you can't wear this product. Now, while the rest of this is drying down even more, I want you to take any of your eyeshadow palettes. Take an eyeshadow palette that you have at home, or take this new one if you happen to have gotten this one just recently based on my recommendation or other people's recommendations. But you're going to take the same brush you just used to blend out that primer or any kind of fluffy brush that you might have used. For this look, I want to just dip into this very soft, almost like a blush tone mauve. And you're going to immediately just bring this all across the crease. This is not so much specific to dry skin. This is just a makeup technique that we're going to utilize. So at the end of this application, we are left with a soft, very cohesive makeup look that looks complete. Okay, so we're just going to run this in the crease with that big N20S brush or any fluffy brush. This is going right on top of that Makeup by Mario Sandstone primer. So it's going to have really great grip, and that primer is going to give this the best longevity. So that way it doesn't happen to crease or settle into fine lines or just disappear as you're wearing it throughout the day. This will ensure that your eyeshadow actually stays on your eyes and your eyes don't eat it up. I want you to not worry about this edge or this edge because we're going to cover that up with concealer in just a bit. So just get in there, blend across, get it done just like that. And what you're left with is a really pretty soft wash of color. I'm going to do a little skin check, see if this is dried down fully. Not quite yet. We're going to give this a couple more seconds. In the meantime, while this is still drying down, we're going to not waste our time. We're going to jump into the next step for our eyes. A cream eyeshadow on dry eyelids is going to feel so nice. It's going to look so beautiful. It's going to look so soft. I just picked up a bunch of these. They're a new release from Merit, and I have to say I'm obsessed with them. They are really beautiful, and I don't say that often, but these are really, really, really well done, and they feel incredibly comfortable and thin. So if you have dry, maybe flaky eyelids, there's no reason why you won't feel like this is a comfortable cream eyeshadow to put on your eyelids. So you'll want to take a small flat brush, or if you have really short nails, I don't, you could dig in there and just pat it on with your fingertip. This is going to be the same technique, or it's going to give me the same effect as using my fingertip. It's the N24 brush, also from Volume 2. I'm going to pick up a decent amount, and this is cream, so you just want to apply this and sweep this all across the eyelid. I'm not going to put this into my crease. I'm going to leave that just for that eyeshadow that we placed earlier. You're just going to place this on the base of your eyelid, and it's going to give you such a beautiful, beautiful eye makeup look, even if you have the driest eyelids. Look how pretty that is. And by the way, the shade that I'm using is Surrealism. It's a really pretty, everyday kind of neutral color. Wear this to work, bump it up at night by adding more eyeliner, maybe a half lash. But something like this, just for daytime use, is going to be such a quick, easy way to knock out an eye makeup look that looks just so polished and so pretty. So again, bring this up to my crease, but not going into the crease, just like that. And that is just gonna be such a beautiful, beautiful eye makeup look. Now, if you wanna get a little crazy, if you wanna get a little wild, take your fingertip, dip into any of these shimmers that are in the same palette, and just do a little touch of this at the base of the eyelid just to really further lock it in. A small amount will do you just fine. If you pack on too much, it might make your eyelids look a little bit crepey if you do have very, very dry eyelids. Okay, so just a little bit to lock it into place, to give it a slightly more metallic sheen, and then you're good to go. All right, my friends, did you think I was gonna forget about sunscreen? I am not forgetting about sunscreen. One of the best sunscreens for dry skin types, in my opinion, are ones that are mineral based. Mineral based and dry skin just work really well together. Now, mineral based sunscreens and oily skin or a lethal combination. That's just my opinion, and I'm sorry, I will not agree with anyone who tells me otherwise. Chemical sunscreens for oily skin, mineral for dry skin. That's just my opinion. Please don't come for me. So in this case, since we are specifically priming and doing a makeup look for dry skin, this one from Supergoop is the Mineral Glow Screen. This also will have a bronzy tone to it, which will give you a really beautiful look under your makeup. This is the shade Golden Hour, and this has SPF 40. So we're going to take this as our last step in our skincare prep. We're going to use this as obviously our sunscreen, but also as our primer. So this is going to be like our, if we were to use a primer, like this would be it. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to dot it on, and then we're going to rub this gently on top of that skin prep that we have underneath. Remember, you have 3 layers of hydration and moisturizer underneath this product. So the last thing you want to do is go in there and aggressively buff back and forth. Okay, just gently spread the product until it's nice and evenly distributed. Gentle pressure. That way this doesn't pill. There's no issues. Just spread it nice and gently and evenly. 2 fingertips is going to be an easy way to do so, just like that. So now we have a nice even coating of extra glow, extra moisture, and in this case, our sunscreen is now on. Skin is glowing. I am so dewy. I'm so hydrated, but I'm taking one for the team, showing you how to do this makeup look for your dry skin, because it's not always easy to bring models in, especially with my schedule and especially with the sporadic hours that I get to film. So I will be your dry skin model today. Now that that's on, guess what? We need to give this ample time to dry down. So before we put on our foundation, we want to make sure this is dried down to the touch. That way our foundation sticks, adheres to our skin, and we don't end up with this soupy, drippy, watery, runny mess with our complexion products. Okay, so we want to avoid that. And you want to let these products fully penetrate your skin and dry down, properly nourishing your skin, moisturizing it. And that way when you go on with that foundation that has more glow based on your skin type, it just stays put, which means we are going back to eye makeup. We're going to add some eyeliner now to this look. And again, this is not anything to do with dry skin in particular, but it's going to be a way to complete this eye makeup look so we're left with a cohesive, complete makeup after this video is done. So I'm going to take Plum from Makeup by Mario, a really beautiful color, especially if you have brown eyes like me. And again, dry skin, oily skin, anyone can use this step, this product. And if you do have dry or crepey eyelids or flaky eyelids, this is a gel pencil, which is actually what you'd want to look for if you have dry eyelids, because a gel pencil is going to have better glide, and it's going to glide on a lot easier without tugging or stretching or really stressing out your eyelid area, especially your lash line. So if you have dry eyelids and flaky skin, you'll want a pencil that's going to glide on and not tug. So something like this will glide on super easy, very creamy. It'll be very easy for you to work with. But then once it dries down, it's going to stay put. So it's going to give you everything you need and be a really easy way to line your eyes. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to immediately go in with my N21 brush and just blend out this eyeliner. All right, friends, we are fully hydrated, moisturized, prepped, primed, ready to go. We are covered with protection from the sun. We have all the things we need for our dry skin. Now we can tackle our actual complexion products. So just do a little light touch. Make sure you are dried down. If you are, move on to your next step. That is going to be choosing a foundation that's going to be best for your skin type. So you'll want to avoid foundations that have matte in the title, ultra long wear, budge proof, things like that that will hint at and imply that it's going to feel a little overly drying on your skin. So anything that has like oil control in the title, things like that are going to be the ones you want to avoid because it's not going to be the best for your skin type. However, I do really stand by the philosophy that you can make any foundation formula work for you if you just prep your skin accordingly. But to make things easier, you're going to look for formulas that have glow, luminous, dewy, things like that in the title. And at the most, you could go for a satin because a satin's going to be right in between. It's going to be not overly matte, not overly glowy. It's somewhere right in in the middle. Same with like a natural finish. So those are great as well. But if you have really, really dry skin, then really your best option and the most suitable for your skin type is going to be the ones that have glow, dewy, luminous, hydrating in the title. So look for those. Now the foundation that I'm choosing for this video is one that I recommend all the time for dry skin. Now it doesn't actually have any of those catchphrases in the title, but what it does have in the title that is an indicator that's great for dry skin is it has serum. So this is a serum based foundation. It's the Natasha Denona High Glam Serum Based Foundation. So serum is going to be just that. It's going to be serum based. It's going to feel hydrating. So even though it's not implied and it's not on the title that it's glowy, luminous, or dewy, a serum is going to give you that kind of finish and that kind of feeling, therefore making it really great for dry skin. I have the shade N7. We're going to shake this up. Any foundation formula that you have, you definitely want to shake it up really well first. Make sure all the ingredients are well mixed together. I'm going to take this and just pump this out in my palette that's right in front of me. I'm going to start with 2 pumps, and I think that's probably all we're going to need, to be fully honest with you. And I'm going to grab a N20 full size. This has a little bit of foundation left over it from a previous makeup look. We're going to dip in and then work this into the top of my hand, working it into the bristles just like that. And then we're going to start in the center of the face and then work our way out. I always try to suggest starting in the center of the face. That's where we need the most coverage, typically speaking anyway. So by starting in the center of the face and then working your way outward, once you get like most of the product deposit on the inside of the face, it'll end up looking really soft, really natural, and very undetectable once you start to get to the outer perimeter of your skin. It'll help definitely avoid like that foundation mask or that foundation line that I think we're all trying to avoid. So this formula you'll see is going to have a very beautiful luminous finish, and because we have so much great skin prep underneath, it's going to look even more glowy and feel even more glowy on our skin. Now keep in mind, it's all about the prep. Makeup is all about the prep. You can manipulate any foundation to work for you. I really do believe this, but in order to make your life easier and just take the guesswork out, go for those formulas that have that in the title. Now this foundation I love. Even though I have oily skin, I still wear it. I still love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It wears really beautifully. The one thing I will call out about this foundation that I don't really quite agree with is it says it's a blurring formula. I don't really see the blurring aspect to it personally. That'd be like the one thing I don't agree on. But what I will tell you is this gives you a very, very glassy glass skin look to your skin. So if you want that glassy look, that really like reflective quality, this foundation is going to give you it in a second. So I'm building up the coverage on my cheeks and around my nose where I need the extra coverage. Build it up in the areas that you need based on your skin and what your skin's needs are. And your foundation should look like this once you're done. It's not too heavy. It's not too much. Now let this start to dry down and self-set somewhat. And now we're going to go into our next step, which is going to be a cream bronzer. There's a really good cream bronzer that's at the drugstore. It's from Milani. Anyone can use this, any skin type can use this, but I do feel like this is a really great formula that's really spreadable and really blendable and really buttery for dry skin. So this is the Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer from Milani. I have the shade 120 Spilling Tea. Now we're going to take Spilling Tea and we're going to just tap into this with the N18. This is also from Volume 2. Tap in, and then you're going to do the exact same thing. You're just going to tap on. The reason why I want you to tap on also is because we're applying this product on top of many, many layers of hydration, moisturizer, glow, and now a glowy foundation. So you would not want to go in there with all those products that are sitting on your skin and start to go like this, because the longevity of the products that are underneath, especially if you have my skin type, which again, this is not about my skin type, but just a good thought to keep in your head is to not go and buff too aggressively, because your products are just going to pull up on themselves and you're going to lift them up and you're going to be really frustrated with that outcome. So I want you to avoid that by just gently tapping on that cream bronzer. It's going to melt into your skin with absolutely little to no effort, so you don't need to go in there and buff aggressively. A good cream formula will just melt into your skin really effortlessly. Look how pretty that looks. Couple taps and you're done. So same thing, we're gonna take more of this. I'm gonna get my hair out of the way. When it comes to the forehead, you can go back and forth a little bit and swipe just gently if you need to. The forehead, I notice, is just not as like finicky as your cheeks when it comes to like buffing motions, but I would still say as a safe measure, just tap it on, push this onto your skin. It'll stick, it'll blend in like butter, and you won't disrupt the makeup that's underneath and or the skin prep that's underneath. So now we have a nice beautiful wash of color. Our complexion's really coming to life. We're really starting to take shape. And again, you're choosing all these great formulas that are gonna be great for your skin type, but then you're also learning how to make formulas that may be intimidating to you in the past work for your skin type, because now you know how to prep your skin accordingly. So that should really give you so much power and so much freedom to use other products and not be limited. So I'm just gonna swipe this underneath the jaw, and I'm just gonna take the same brush and just run a little bit along the side of my nose. I'm not going for an overly contoured look. I just wanna bring some warmth to the center of my face and lightly sculpt my nose to look something like that. All right, now I mentioned this product earlier, and this is a really amazing concealer if you have deeply dehydrated under eyes. This is a really great formula that I think is a solid pick. There's so many that I recommend for dry under eyes. I even recommend the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer for dry under eyes. I think it's a beautiful, very moisturizing concealer formula that will work great for your under eyes. Another one I'm loving for dry skin and for dry under eyes is the Maxine's Revenge. Now I would have used this, but I really wanted to show you how to properly prep your under eyes. And when you're using this one, this actually has a ton of skincare in it. So if I were to use this one for this makeup tutorial, I would have actually cut down on half of the hydration and the moisturization that I put under my eyes in order to make this work so it stayed put. So because of that, we're not going to use this one today. We're going to use this one from MAC instead because I know it's going to lay really well on top of all that skin prep that we applied earlier. It's the MAC Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer. This is not drying at all, but still somehow being very, very long wearing and just really flawless under the eyes. The shade that I have is NW11. You're going to take it and you're going to use this not only as your concealer for under your eyes, but you're going to also use it to highlight any other areas that you want to bring back forward. So I'll teach you some easy spots, right? You want to hit your center of your forehead right between your brows. You can also bring this straight down the bridge of your nose for a little nose highlight. This will also further enhance any kind of slight sculpting effect we achieved with that Milani cream bronzer along the side of our nose. Then this area right here, I want you to never ignore this area because this is an area that gets really dark, really deep set, and it's a great area to highlight with a lighter concealer so you can pull it back forward and really brighten it. So once that is on, it should look something like this. Now, here's where it can get crazy.
How superstitious are you?
If you, at this point in your makeup routine, still feel like you got that itch, like you're not quite fully, you're starting to feel maybe a little dry now that you have some products layered on top of your skin prep, one product and one tool that you can use in between all these steps is a super hydrating skincare based spray. So this is the Dalba. It's a classic product. It's the hydration. It's the first spray serum. This is a super hydrating spray. It's not a setting spray per se. It's just like a hydrating spray that you can use pre-makeup, in between makeup, and like during your makeup process, post makeup, and then also throughout the day for extra hydration, extra glow to really like bring back that hydration as your skin starts to feel a little bit depleted, maybe as the hours and the day goes on. Now, I want to warn you, if you do have a mascara that maybe is prone to running, or if you just don't want to risk your mascara running at this point, what I would suggest you do, shake it up. If you're going to do this step, cover your eyes. Do one section at a time. Do top, bottom. That way you're avoiding that mascara and you're not going to let it drip and get all runny and smudgy and ruin this whole makeup look. All right, now that we've done that, we've infused extra glow, extra moisture. We're going to take the N19 and you're just going to press this very moisturizing, very beautiful concealer under the eyes. Press, press. And again, I'm pressing because I want to keep it in the areas that I applied it. I don't want to spread it out to areas that I don't want it to go. So just pressing it in, doing a little lift, pressing it, and it should look something like this. You're going to go back to your foundation brush and you're going to buff out the edges, melting this into the bronzer, ensuring that there's no harsh edges, and you're going to be so looking like a pro if you use these techniques. All right, now for your dry skin, powder is going to be one of your very last steps, and the reason for that is because you want to let everything have ample time to fully dry down. That way, when you go to actually set your makeup into place, you're going to really have a good idea of how much powder is actually necessary in order to lock your makeup in. If you're really, really, really dry, it might just be like a minuscule amount. So it depends. And I want you to really like wait as long as you possibly can to powder your skin, so that way you know how much you're going to actually need and you don't run the risk of overpowdering your skin and therefore feeling dry. All right, one of my favorite products from Ciel that I think is such a beautiful product, especially for dry skin. Oily skin can absolutely use it too, but I love this product and I recommend this for anyone who has dry skin because it's going to give you the most beautiful glow. And I want you to use this pre-blush. I love the look of this laying underneath blush because it gives you this more radiant, lit from within look that really just gives you like that juicy, healthy, hydrating glow. So it's a Ciel Glow and Protect. This has SPF 50 in it, which is amazing. The shade that I have is Piper, and we're gonna use Piper to further enhance our glow. And again, you want to use this pre-powder because you want this to melt into all of the high points and not run into powder where it's going to end up looking patchy. Just press this on that same foundation brush and look at the beautiful radiant glow that it gives. With whatever's left over, I'm just going to sweep this across my nose and a bit on my forehead, bringing extra glow and vibrancy to those high points of my face. All right, now from here, you could choose either a cream blush that's going to have a beautiful glowy finish to it, or you can use a liquid blush. In this case, I'm going to use a liquid blush because I think it's going to be really pretty with this makeup look. And the one I want to use is Sweet Jane from Jane Iredale. These are new. These are the Color Luxe liquid blushes. These are very hydrating blushes. They're also buildable, but they almost feel like a serum going on your skin. So again, these are ideal for ultra dry skin types. Oily skin, not so much, but ultra dry skin types and anyone who wants just like a luminous look to your blush, you're gonna love this finish. I'm gonna take the N20 full size and just push this and pat this on very delicately. Because this is so like loose in texture and it is a serum based product, like a liquid based product, if you went in and buffed too aggressively, the same thing that I warned you about earlier would happen, where you'd rip up that makeup underneath. And you want to just delicately layer these very hydrating, very moisturizing products on top of each other, not disrupting what's underneath. So gentle pressure is what you want to do, just tapping this in. And if you want more color payoff, you can layer accordingly. But what I'm going to do is teach you how to set this kind of product with a powder blush that's not going to feel dry on your skin type. Yes, it's powder. Don't be worried. Now, while this is drying down just a touch more, I'm going to take this opportunity to blot off my lip balm. Before I go in with the powder to set my under eyes, I'm going to take a little bit of powder bronzer and I'm going to set the top of my forehead, a little bit around my cheek, and a little bit around my nose. And the powder bronzer I'm going to use is going to be from the Hourglass palette. I know a lot of you out there, based on who I've talked to, have this palette. If you don't, they sell these products individually. And if you don't, just pick a product that's going to have a luminous finish to it. So any baked bronzers, an example, are going to be really great formulas to wear on top of dry skin types. Yes, they're powder, but baked formulas just tend to feel really soft, really lightweight, and not overly drying on your dry skin. So don't be afraid to try out some powder products on your dry skin for the longevity. In this case, I know a lot of you have this, so I'm going to be using this palette from Hourglass. I'll be taking my N15 powder brush from my original Volume 1 set, dipping into the bronzer in this palette, which is going to be in this corner right here. You're going to pick up a small amount and you're just going to tap this on top of the Milani cream bronzer that you placed earlier. And you're just doing a small amount so it should feel virtually weightless. But what's going to do is further enhance that beautiful cream bronzer that you placed earlier, giving it a bit more pop and a bit more color. And the best part is it's going to lock it into place so your makeup just doesn't disappear throughout the day. I think that's a big, big thing that happens when people don't use any kind of powders in their routine. They wonder why their makeup doesn't stay put and why there's no longevity and why it starts to just literally fade throughout the day. So if you have dry skin, you've ever asked yourself, why does my makeup just not last? I don't understand. This is more than likely the reason why. You're not setting your products, your cream products, with a like-minded color and a powder formula. So just a little bit around the cheeks. I put some on the bridge and the tip of my nose. Isn't that pretty? Bronzer is so light in texture, so light in feel. It's not going to feel like a heavy, cakey powder bronzer, I promise you. And these formulas from Hourglass are some of the most ideal powder formulas for dry skin, in my opinion. All right, so now you're going to take another diffusing brush. This is my N20 brush, and you're going to dip into any of these soft finishing powders from the palette, okay? And if you don't have this palette, any soft pressed powder, even like the Kosas Cloud Set powders, are so finely milled, they're so airy, they're so lightweight, they're amazing for dry skin types, and you could definitely use a product like that and use it as your finishing powder. So you're gonna just press this to lock in and to give a beautiful filtered look to your complexion. Going across the forehead, and you'll see these three combined give this beautiful, luminous, candlelit type glow and a very soft, focused finish. So if you have larger pores with dry skin, this would be a really great product to help smooth over the look of larger pores, texture, and really give your skin this like airbrushed, candlelit kind of filtered effect. Isn't that pretty? And the great thing too is it's going to help lock in your makeup without actually going in with an actual setting powder. So we're trying to minimize the amount of setting powder we need to use, and this is a great way and a great tool in order to do so. Now it's not going to stop there. We're going to take, of course, the N20 one more time, and we're going to dip into one of these blushes. I'm just going to mix both these because there's really no right or wrong way to use this palette. And the blush that we have underneath is a nice, perfect mix of both these colors. So just pressing this one right on top, again, further enhancing that serum liquidy blush that might not have as much longevity. This is going to give it longevity. It's going to lock into place. And it's going to give it a really soft, beautiful sheen. And I'm just applying small taps. Small tap, swipe in, light tap, do a little on your nose. It's so cute here. And now, my friends, we've reached a point in the tutorial where we're going to actually powder our skin. And one of the best powders on earth for dry skin types. And for anyone who's reached out to me online and told me that they cannot wear powder because they have dry skin, that tells me you have not tried this. Coconut has some of the best powders on the market, but this one in particular for dry skin is just a holy grail. This is the sheer moist powder, and it's exactly that. It's sheer, feather lightweight. You won't even feel this on your skin. I promise you, you will not feel this on your skin. So dry skin types, this is the one to get. So it's very finely milled. I'm going to take a small amount of this powder, and I'm going to pick this up with my N20S. This is a small mini version of the full-size N20. What you're going to do with a brush like this, you're going to work the powder into the bristles using the cap as like your mixing palette. All right, your brush should look like this afterwards. It should look like it has basically no powder on it. That's where you want to start. So you want to get in there. First, you're going to tap it on, drying down the area. In your case, it might already be dry at this point. For me, it's not going to look dry because, again, once again, I'm very, very oily. So you're going to just pat this on. And after you've dried down the area, then you can start to work in like light buffing motions, diffusing, blurring, and softly setting the under eye concealer, and any other areas that might not wear as well throughout the day. So it's going to look different for everyone, but even if you have dry skin, I would still strongly suggest that you focus the powder under the eyes and just lightly in the T-zone. These are like high traffic areas, I like to call them. And those high traffic areas are the areas that don't wear as well throughout the day, dry skin or not. So dry down the under eye with a light, thin wash of powder. Work it in any areas that don't tend to wear that well, and you, my friends, are going to be golden. Your skin should be glowing from within. It should be glowing from outer space, and the hydration and the comfort you should feel while wearing this full face of makeup should be unmatched. If you prep your skin accordingly to your skin type, and if you use these steps, I promise you, you will love the way your makeup looks as a dry skin person. Now, I am going to just lightly use whatever's left over on that N20S brush to just lightly powder my lip line, because we have so much moisture going on in this makeup look. There's so much moisture happening. And the last thing you want to do is allow that moisture around our lips to then push our products and push our lip pencils and our lipsticks and feather them outward, creating like a soupy mess and a really blurry lip line that's not going to be as flattering. So just lightly, ever so lightly, using that very moisturizing sheer powder on your lip line, it's just going to set you up for success so your lipstick actually stays put. Dry skin, dry lips or not. Now we're going to do more of a fall focus type lip. I'm going to use Travis from Makeup by Mario. The color that you choose is completely up to you. At this point, it's not about what colors are best for dry skin. It's not going to be about that. I'm just trying to complete this makeup look, and I think Travis is going to be a really pretty color. So I'm going to take Travis. Now, although I said that the lip combo is not really, subjective to just dry skin people out there, I will say I still chose products that are going to work really well for dry skin types and dry lip types. The Makeup by Mario lip pencils, I think, are an ideal formula for anyone, but if you do have like maybe dry lips, if you have like lots of fine lines around your lips, it's going to go on really smooth. It's not going to feel heavy, and it's not going to look overly dry on your lips. So this is a great option for dry lips and any lips in general, but I do also love it for dry skin. So Travis is on. Now we're going to choose something that is moisturizing, long wearing, and going to give hydration and a beautiful look to our lips. The Kulfi Lassie Lips Staining Lip Oil is something that I always recommend, and I just love this product. It's so well done. It just gives your lips this beautiful, bouncy hydration that's really, really long lasting. So Rose is the shade I'm going to use, and I think Rose is super universally flattering. It's a really beautiful shade. It's going to look so nice on top of that Makeup by Mario lip pencil. So you're going to run this all over. Now this is a stain. So once this dries down and stains your lips, you're left with like long lasting lip color throughout the day. But one trick and one thing I want to recommend as well, because I think it's just such a great product for dry lips, especially the Gisou honey infused lip oils. These come in so many different tints and shades, but this new shade for fall just really stuck out to me. So I'm going to layer this right on top for extra moisture, extra shine, and extra comfort. It's the shade Sticky Toffee, and these are literally a tinted lip oil. So right on top, extra shine, extra glow. And now 2 last steps for this makeup tutorial for dry skin, and then you're gonna be rocking and rolling. 2 things I want you to do. I want you to lock in your makeup and all that beautiful makeup you just applied for your dry skin with an actual setting spray, okay? Hear me out. This is not gonna dry your skin. This is something I use on my clients that have dry skin and dry mature skin all the time. This is a holy grail for me as a makeup artist. This is gonna actually lock your makeup in, give it more longevity, but it's gonna add like a beautiful soft glow, and it's gonna take away any powdery finish and give you some extra hydration, all while locking your makeup in, right? And then you're gonna follow up, if needed, with extra moisture on top of this product. But this is gonna go first to really lock the makeup in, and this is gonna bring extra glow back into your complexion. This is also something, again, like I mentioned earlier, that you can use throughout the day. Throw it in your bag, throw it in your car, and take it wherever you're going for the day, and touch up throughout the day and add extra hydration as needed. So first, you're gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury original formula, not the matte one. That is not gonna be for your skin type. Take it, shake it up. I'm gonna do a test spray. You're gonna do 6 sprays to lock your makeup in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 minimum. Your skin should feel and look so radiant, so juicy, so beautiful, and it's going to be further locked in with that setting spray. Now at this point, it's up to you to like assess the situation to see if you need more hydration and if you need extra glow. If you do, follow it with like 1, 2, 3 rounds of the Dalba. I wouldn't do 6 sprays of this. It's gonna be way too much and way too greasy for your skin, even if you have dry skin. And that, my friends, is the finished glam for dry skin. If you have dry skin, if you try any of these steps, any of these tips, tricks, or if you try this entire tutorial, please leave your feedback in the comments below. I know your dry skin is going to love not only the skin prep, but the products used in general throughout this tutorial are going to be so great for your skin type. I hope this also encourages you to not be limited to the products you buy for your dry skin and gives you more options on what you can use for your skin type once you have properly prepped your skin the right way. I love the way this makeup look turned out. My skin does feel incredible, incredibly nourished, incredibly hydrated, and incredibly dewy and glowy. So big thank you to everyone who has requested a dry skin makeup tutorial. This one was for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.